Hey everyone, and welcome to another revenue report for the month of July. If you're new to these videos, I put a new video out every month where I basically go through and recap how my YouTube revenue went for the previous month. So I really enjoy doing these reports because I think that they can be interesting for a lot of people who are looking at getting into YouTube or becoming a YouTuber, and it just creates that little bit more transparency around what people are actually earning from YouTube and essentially what you could potentially get. Now, for those of you who have been watching these videos for a while now, you'll know that my YouTube revenue since the beginning of the year has been declining, unfortunately. So this month is no different. And unfortunately, again, like my last month, I have to say that this has been my worst month for this particular channel. So as some of you may know, I did post a video late last year that did very well, and I've been talking about that in these videos. And that video was doing well for months and well into this year, and it was getting a lot of views, and that was obviously generating some YouTube revenue for me that was probably really good for the amount of subscribers that I have, for the amount of views that I was getting in total. I found that that was really helping my channel out with revenue. But being on YouTube now for about 10 years, I already know the repercussions of this, and I know that not everything is forever on YouTube, and I did expect that income to go down. So unfortunately it did. After quite a few months of doing well, that video started to kind of decline in terms of the view rate, and eventually my revenue started to drop as well. So I'm doing this video a little bit differently today. I'm just doing it in my lounge room from my laptop because I feel like it's just nice to see a different scene every now and then rather than just my office. But we are going to be going through essentially what my revenue was for July in total, and we'll also be going through some of my most popular videos and in terms of like the ones that were generating the most income, just so you can see which ones are doing better. I think it's always interesting and eye-opening to kind of see that kind of content, so hopefully it is for you. But we'll also go into my CPM and RPM rates as well, because I do find that that's interesting to see how that varies from month to month and video to video, so we'll go and really touch on that as well. But for those of you who are totally new here, my name is Kaylee and I'm a beauty and fashion photographer based near Sydney, Australia, but I'm also a content creator, and I started this channel a few years ago to talk about all things business, social media, freelancing, and content creation. So we're going to delve straight into this video and talk about the revenue that I earned in July. So let's go into my revenue tab and we'll make sure to select July. So as you can see, for the month of July, I earned $187.41. And that is with, I think, just over 8,000 subscribers at this point. So if you remember some of my earlier videos from this year with the revenue reports, I was earning closer to about $600. So that has dropped significantly. I'm only getting around about a third of what I was at one point. But that's okay, because that's how YouTube just works, and everything is ebbs and flows. So that's okay, and we will move past it eventually, hopefully. So $187.41 is what I earned. So that was based on 18,000 views, 18,200 views, and then we also had 1.1K hours of watch time as well. So that has dropped pretty significantly from the beginning of the year. So if we're just comparing it as well to June, my last month's video, you can see that June was roughly around $233 in terms of what I earned. And that was actually based on around the same watch time number. So I got roughly the same amount of watch time last month, and I just had a little bit more in terms of views as well. So it's kind of a similar figure, but overall it's still quite a bit less than quite a few months ago when I was doing these reports. So if we delve into this a little bit further and see what videos were doing the best, you can see that my video that was doing really well at the end of last year and beginning of this year is still bringing in quite a bit of income for the month, and the largest majority. So I posted a reel on Instagram every day for 6 months. Here's what happened. That is getting about $37 of that income. But honestly, things are starting to even out a little bit more. And I can definitely pick the positives out of this, because as I was saying in some of my earlier videos from this year with the revenue reports, I was starting to get a bit worried as it was that that video was really carrying my channel, and it really was in terms of the revenue. And it's a little bit scary to see that when you've only got one video that's doing really well and the rest of the videos are basically bringing in zero income. So this is where it's really important to keep posting, keep continuously posting new content, keep experimenting. And I think it's always good to do that, because then you start to have other videos that are helping to support your more hero style videos as well in terms of earning money, because those hero style videos are not always SEO friendly or videos that are going to essentially stay on browse features forever, it's really important to have a mix of content on your YouTube channel where you can kind of spread the income across several videos instead of just one. So it is good to see that some of these videos that are doing well on my channel at the moment are now starting to even out a little bit. There's a bit more of a even share of revenue generated across my videos. So let's go into this a little bit more now. And we can see some of my top videos here. You can really see there's a lot more spread with the income, and it's just kind of sitting, I think, a little bit better now, a little bit more comfortably for me. So I know that if I continuously post a mix of content, then that's hopefully going to continue happening. So you can see how much YouTube paid me in June. Actually, it was one of my better videos for last month, and that was earning the second most amount of income. And then how to create a free link in bio site. I've talked about this video before. It was actually done as a little bit of an experiment, also because I really liked the product that I mentioned in the video, but it was done as an experiment for my CPM and RPM rates. And let me just say, it definitely worked, because that video is not getting a lot of views per day. This is a video that I actually filmed months ago, and yet that is right up there with my top videos for the month in terms of earnings for revenue. So let's just click on that. I always like to have a look at this video and see how it's tracking, because it is kind of, in terms of the views, it is sort of slowly moving up over time. And I think that is due to becoming a little bit more popular on SEO and search in general. So yeah, if we're looking at the revenue generated, like this is getting roughly like between 40 and 50 views a day. So it's not actually a lot, but 50 views or so per day is also still generating up to about $1.31 of revenue per day. So that's actually a very, very good amount for the views generated. So if we actually go here to RPM, you'll see that my rate per mile is actually really good. And this is essentially what your cut is from when advertisers pay to put ads on your videos. This is essentially your cut from that amount. So usually the standard for my channel is somewhere around about $10 in RPM per 1,000 views, and this is sitting a lot higher than $10 per 1,000 views. So for the month of July, for example, on average, it was sitting closer to $20 per 1,000 views. So that's nearly double my average. And if I actually go into the CPM rates as well, I just find this really fascinating. I've shown this a couple of times in these videos, but I just think it's really interesting. My CPM on average since it's been uploaded is nearly $50 per 1,000 views. So that is what advertisers are paying to put ads on my channel. So usually the RPM is roughly half of what the CPM is, but you can see here there's some days where that CPM rate went up to over $300 per 1,000 views. So that is absolutely crazy. And to think if that video was getting more views each day and it actually accrued a lot more views, the income that would be generated from that video would be pretty crazy. So it's always interesting to look at how that video is going and just to see how it's tracking. So it is still tracking really well in terms of RPM, which is great. And you can see my revenue for every 1,000 views in July was roughly about $10, so $10.29. So that's pretty standard for my channel. And then the CPM rate would pretty much be double that. So if you go to the graph here, you can kind of see just a bit of a recap from the last few months and how my revenue has declined. The biggest decline came from around about March to April, when my revenue basically halved in a month. That's how crazy it can be when one of your videos just drops off browse features and you just suddenly do not get any income anymore. So unfortunately that happened, but that's okay, because as I said, this is how YouTube works. Nothing lasts forever, and you always have to be kind of on your toes in terms of thinking about the next video that you're going to create and what kind of content you're going to put out there. So that's essentially my revenue report for the month of July. And if you like these types of videos, please let me know in the comments section below, because I would love to do more of them. I'd love to do more deep dives into my analytics overall. And if you're interested in more like general social media analytics month to month and seeing how my accounts are progressing, especially with some certain tactics that I might be using or growth tactics or whatever, definitely let me know in the comments as well, because I've been thinking about doing more of a social media analytics deep dive each month as well. So if you'd like to kind of see how my channels and Instagram is tracking, I mean, I have 3 separate YouTube channels at the moment, so it's quite tricky to kind of like both balance them, but I do have a travel vlogging channel, I do have this channel, and I've got my photography channel over at Kaylee June. And then I've also got my travel Instagram that I'm also focusing on at the moment. So if you'd like to see more about how my social media accounts are doing, you know, if there's one particular month where I'm seeing a lot of growth and really talking about like maybe what I'm doing in that month to kind of see that and to kind of get it to that point, that might be interesting. I've been thinking about that idea for a video for a little while now, so definitely let me know if you'd like to see more of that. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, make sure you do, because I'll be posting a lot more videos like this one in future. Let me know how your revenue went for July, if you are currently monetized on YouTube. I'm always interested to hear how others are doing, and if your revenue was good, what have you been doing to get it that way? And if you're struggling, let me know as well, because I just want to hear all of the thoughts from everyone and see how everyone else is going too. But thank you so much as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.